Hey guys, it's Rogodop, and today I will be going through my Marksmanship Hunter Heroic Broodkeeper guide. So to start off with, I'm just going to go over the order in which you break eggs. So the boss is going to start about right here in the middle, and then go over to this container of black blood, and then afterwards you will be able to break these eggs. So the first break is going to be these three eggs right here, the second here, the third here, and then going over to this side here, here, and here, and then this side, here, here, and here. And then these ones that are X'd out, don't mind those. Those are for the mythic mechanics and will not be present on normal LFR or heroic. So here's a quick mechanical rundown of the boss. So he will be casting Experimental Dosage, which is a dot that deals damage once it expires in a 4-yard radius. And this is what you will be using to break eggs. He will also cast Sticky Webbing, which is a dot that deals damage every 0.5 seconds and reduces movement speed by 70%. This must be dispelled. He will also be casting Ingest Black Blood. Once he reaches full energy, he will run to the nearest container of black blood and he will channel until the canister is drained. Every 5 seconds, he will be dealing large amounts of damage and inflicting a healing absorb. So this is where you'll be casting your defensives, like casting Survival of the Fittest right before it goes out, if you're low on cooldowns, or maybe your healers aren't great and you know you'll be taking a ton of damage, you can cast Turtle. And once the healing absorb goes on you, and if you're low health, you can also cast Fortitude of the Bear. And then once he is done channeling, he will a Sanguine Overflow will come from the canister, and once it's drained, a large puddle will spread from it. If it touches an egg, it hatches, and the mobs will become empowered. So then we'll go over the mobs that hatch out of the eggs. So out of the big eggs, we will get the Colossal Spider. This doesn't do too many mechanics pertaining to DPS, but it has an aggro table, it needs to be tanked, and it casts a Tank Buster on the target, so you want to make sure these die. And then the ones that are more focused on the DPS will be Voracious Worms. These cannot move, and they cast Poison Burst, which deals large AoE damage and needs to be interrupted. And then we have these little guys, the blood parasites. They fixate, and they spawn from those small little clusters of eggs. These fixate on a player, and if it reaches them, they will cast Infest and spawn 2 more parasites. So you'll be wanting to stun these with Binding Shot. If you have a DK, have them grip them onto the boss. You can use Tar Trap, and if you're running Implosive Trap, then you can also cast that on them as well. So for MM, these are the talents that I would recommend running. They're pretty similar to the Mythic Plus talents. However, we swap out Camouflage for Binding Shackles, and then we also sub out Kill Zone for Light Ammo. However, with the Kill Zone and Light Ammo choices, you could really go either or. I just personally like to cleave more onto the parasites, so I pick Light Ammo. So the main mechanic of this boss is breaking the eggs and spawning the ads and then also killing them. So this first set of breaks, it's going to be 2 of these big eggs, which will spawn 2 spiders. And then this small egg will spawn a worm. So the tanks are going to pick up both of these big spiders and then move the boss over to the worm. Your priority here is the worm. Make sure you're interrupting it. And then next is going to be the spiders so that the tanks don't get obliterated by the tank buster that they cast. And that's pretty much it for those eggs. And then the next one is going to be these small eggs. These small eggs spawn a bunch of little parasites. As you can see, they fixate, and your job is basically just to CC them, nuke them down, slow them, do whatever you can to stop them, because if they hit you, they will multiply. So making sure you are casting Binding Shot, Tar Trap, if you're using Implosive Trap, using that too to knock them up, and just making sure that they die without reaching you, and then also by making sure you drag them under the boss so that melee and everybody else can cleave easily. So now here's some bad positioning for the egg breaks. I'm about to get targeted with the X marker, which is way over there. We did not move the boss after the second set of breaks, so I'll just play it. I get targeted right here. Disengage, call for my priest to grip, which we had set up in advance. And then luckily we just got it off, but as you can see, we took a bunch of damage, tank dead, many DPS dead, healer dead. It's ended up being a wipe, but that's how bad positioning can affect it. So then here's some good positioning on webs. As you can see, I'm out here with the rest of the ranged, a little bit further away from the group. I get targeted with a web. Just move out to the side, disengage, and I do not root anybody. So right here, we're going to see how bad positioning can impact the sticky webbing. So as you can see right here, the webs are about to go out, and I'm right here, basically in melee. I get targeted, and this was our first pull. So just 1 second. This was our first pull, so I just disengaged in the middle of the group, and I webbed about 5 or 6 people here. So making sure that you are out towards the edges. So I will show another clip of proper positioning. And then to cap it all off, I'm just going to go through our most recent kill of the boss and commentate over it. So casting aim shot about 2.1 seconds before pull, doing my opener, casting Scardens, and then popping true shot, and then aim shot, rapid fire spamming. I popped my trinket a little early so that I could use my mandate with unerring vision stacks, which is this buff right up here in the corner, the blue arrow, to get extra crit on my mandate. And then egg breaks are soon, which I'm not positioned very well for. However, I got lucky and did not get targeted. Then we have 3 spiders and a worm. What I should be doing here is focusing this worm since it's priority. However, the DPS burst it down pretty quick. Spreading for webs. And then solo breaking. I did get hit by that though. I should have positioned myself a bit better. Just backed up a little bit. And then we have egg breaks. And then I salvo volley this pack of parasites, and we nuke them down pretty quick. Then we should be switching over to the worm, keeping it interrupted, spreading for webs. With all the ads dead, we then move over to the last set of breaks for phase 1. And as you can see, my Scardens is up, but I'm not using it. I am saving it for True Shot to maximize my damage. Then we have the next set of ad breaks. Parasites are pretty far. And then I salvo volley the boss to wait for the 3 seconds for the explosive trap. And when it goes off, it still hits the parasites. And then I was a bit hesitant to use my true shot right there because the boss is about to phase. However, I don't see an issue with it, especially because I have disengage and cheetah up. And then here, once he reaches the container, you should press a defensive like Survival of the Fittest or Fortitude of the Bear, or if you are out of those, which at this phase of the fight you really shouldn't be, But if you are, you can press turtle. And my health is low, so I should have popped exhilaration right there, especially since it was up. Killing the parasites. It's again a web that I was not positioned well for. However, instead of trying to run out and, potentially doubling that mistake, I just let the melee move out of the way. Then finishing off those parasites. And then we have the next set of breaks. Once again, I move in a little closer to the boss here just to make sure that I can reach whichever egg I need to break in time. Breaks going out, I have the X marker. And then it's that easy. I don't have to disengage. I don't have to cheetah. No wasted globals. Salvo volley the parasites down. Get a clutch interrupt on the worm. And then I stood in a swirly, so I had to pop my healing pot because I was tunneling the boss since he's almost dead. And then right there, I pop my Scardens without True Shot since the boss is about to die. And then there we go, that's it. Boss is dead. And then just making sure when the boss is under 20% that you maintain the bullseye stacks. It should be pretty easy, especially if you're cleaving down ads, but if you notice it getting low, pop a True Shot on him, something quick that you don't have to cast, even a rapid fire, just to refresh the buff since that extra crit is really nice.